Hi people! So I ran a poll a couple of weeks ago asking what specifically I should do a video on next, and the winner was tied between talking about my road trip to see the Mothman back in November and how it inspired me creatively, and this one you're watching right now, which is me taking you along for the ride as I work on a sketchbook page from beginning to end. That other video will also be made in the near future, but it requires a little more work to put together, and I didn't want to keep y'all waiting too long, so I thought I'd do this one first. If you have any other requests on what you'd like to see more from me this year, please do tell. I'm always ready to hear you out on that front. Last but not least, if you're new here, hi, I'm Ree. I'm an independent artist, and I run my own small business, Owl Skulls, using my original art. If you like what you see here and want to see more of it, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you join me. So if you watched my mixed media sketchbook tour back in January, I'm sure you've already recognized that that's exactly what we're working in today. If you didn't, to quickly recap, this particular sketchbook is an ongoing project of mine that's intended to be a mix of a sketchbook and a personal diary, meaning that not only do I just straight up make art and experiment with a lot of tools and techniques, but I also use it as a way of working through feelings and memories as a means of healing and personal development. Each page is intended as its own complete piece or individual journal entries. Today I came in with a very basic idea to get me started, which was to revisit the type of art I would make in middle and high school. Very much like most other art kids, I was always doodling in class when I should have been paying full attention. But in my defense, I still usually kept my grades up, I swear. I also really wanted to try incorporating one of those paper fortune tellers, since that was also something I especially liked making and playing with back in the day. Depending on where you're from and when you were going to school, you might have also heard them called cootie catchers. I don't know why they were called that, it's kind of silly, but that's besides the point. I decided that I wanted mine to be pasted onto the page unfolded so you could see the whole thing at once, so before I got too far, I marked in pencil where it was going to be so that I wouldn't waste time and effort drawing in places that were going to get covered up anyway. You'll also see in a bit that I ended up cutting a heart-shaped hole in the very center, and I glued a piece of wrap from a flower bouquet behind that, just to make it a little more visually interesting and break up that area of empty space. If you've been watching me for a bit, you'll already know that I'm a big proponent of using whatever you have and not wasting useful materials. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and all that. Also, I'm sorry that my setup here isn't the best, and that sometimes my hands are just completely off screen. I really tried to make sure you could at least see the bulk of what I was doing. It's not great, but it's what I've got at the moment, and hopefully in the future I can afford to make things a little nicer for y'all. The doodles themselves are of the general subject matter that I was always drawing back in the aforementioned time period, so of course I had to include the S, but also skulls, dinosaurs, hearts, and flowers. I grew up in the 2000s, so the general Y2K aesthetic is something that's very special to me. It was really nice to not overthink it and just kind of zone out and draw exactly like I would have been in math class circa 2007. The actual materials used here aren't anything fancy and very easily acquired, like the crayons, Sharpie, etc. I'll have a full list for y'all down in the description if you want the specifics. There are small areas here and there on this page that I either messed up a bit or they just didn't come out the way I originally thought they would, but I didn't want to let myself get too frustrated. The entire point of the sketchbook is to experiment and go with the flow, so that's exactly what I did. And there's some beauty in that imperfection, don't you think? I've said it before and I'll say it as many times as I need to. Art doesn't have to be perfect or even beautiful, it just has to be there. Once I had the bulk of the page done, I went in with some glitter glue and let that dry completely overnight. It still didn't feel quite complete to me yet though. Some of you know me by now, of course I wanted just a little more texture in there. So with the help of some craft glue and this really cute star-shaped chunky glitter I had, we got our additional texture in a way that I was finally satisfied with. And not to worry, I did save as much of the extra glitter as I could to use for a future project. Waste not, want not. And here's the final page. I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with it at the end of the day. I think it turned out pretty cute, and I accomplished pretty much exactly what I wanted out of it. What do you think? What's your favorite part of it? I think mine is the fortune teller, but I can't lie, those dinosaurs do kind of have my whole heart. I hope you all enjoyed this little making of, and I will say that I had a lot of fun making it. I'd like to make this into its own series. I think it might help me finish the sketchbook project in a quicker time frame, and it'll also allow you guys to see more of my actual creative process. I'm tentatively calling it Mixed Media Madness. Also, real quick, before I get out of your hair, I've got a pre-order going on right now on my storefront for a redesigned version of my fan favorite Bad Luck Club patches. This is something I've really been wanting to do since literally the second I sold out of the original run. I'm super happy with this redesign, and I'm just dying to make them a reality. The pre-order period lasts through Saturday, April the 6th, and I'm going to be including a special edition sticker with each order, so I would appreciate it if you gave them a look and shared with your friends. All pertinent links, including my online storefront and most of my active socials, will as always be down in the description, alongside the video chapter list and any other important stuff that I might have forgotten. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, and until we meet again.